Gotta love that. Let's kind of move over to the offensive side of the ball now. Um, I would say the offense is finally starting to look a little more like we wanted to. They're starting to do a little more trick plays, starting to take more shots, trying to look a little bit creative. And you love to see it. I mean, we still haven't had the big Jamar Chase game, which we all know is coming. Just kind of a matter of when. Teagan's had a really good game, and again, Tyler Boyd had a great game. I mean, Tyler Boyd to me is just kind of the guy that he's all reliable. Like you're not gonna account for him every game, and he's probably not gonna be a guy that's gonna get a bunch of your targets. But when you need him, he's gonna pull through, and that's what he did in the game when beside Jamar really couldn't get much going, and T was having a good game, but when they needed to, Tyler Boyd stepped up with the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things too that we talked about is like when one guy's not playing well, you got to step up. I I am a little worried still. I'm not. I thought Joe looked good, but there's a couple other pieces to that offense that I'm just not completely sold on. I don't know what Joe Mixon is doing, for lack of better words. He looks incredibly lost. I mean, he's running. There's holes that, all three of us could fit through at one time running at the speed that we run at. And he's running into, tackles. It looks horrendous. I don't know. He's going to have to figure it out, or, you're not, running the ball isn't the most important thing ever, but you can afford to get 30 yards against the Jets going into that last drive. Against some of these other teams, you can't afford to do that. They're gonna have a lot better scheme. Also, Robert Saleh, the blueprint was out the last 2 weeks, and he doesn't run cover 2 until the second and third quarter.
Yeah.
But it was, on the other hand, not to be negative. On the other hand, it was still nice to see Jamar. Even though he lost that ball, that's open. He should have caught that. T's Moss guys, Tyler Boyd's catching balls. I think things are good. They just got to still figure out this cover too.
Yeah, T. Higgins he had one of those T. Higgins games where he just looked unreal. I think all three of us are a pretty big fan of the guy he did, Moss. We all big on Sauce. And T, Jamar might have struggled with Sauce a little bit, but T looked really good up against him. But yeah, the offense looked good. O-line looked good. I wasn't as critical of the O-line as maybe some other people through the first 2 weeks. But I thought it definitely took a step forward. Looked pretty good. And you kind of see what can happen when you're not playing TJ Watt or Micah Parsons, when you're not playing a top 3 to 5 edge rusher. It makes life a lot easier. And yeah, Burrow was back to, sitting in the pocket, making plays. He had the first touchdown to Samaje Perine was a classic. Burrow was just fiddling around in the pocket for a while, wiggling around, kind of makes a guy miss, extends the play, and, touchdown comes from it. And that's one of those Joe Burrow plays where, yeah, he got sacked a lot, but that's also a lot of times when he's getting sacked, it's trying to look like that. But yeah, offense looked good. They scored the 2 drives early were great, or 3 drives early when they scored all 3, I think. And then, yeah, the Jets didn't want to, kind of sit too high. We'll touch on that again in a little bit. I think sitting too high is, it's pretty much the meta right now in all the NFL, but the team we're playing on Thursday doesn't really look like they want to do it either. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, we didn't run the ball well. That's definitely something that's got to get improved, but hey, weird positive. There was a Chris Evans sighting. I saw him in the game a little bit this week or last week. So, if Mixon's having a little bit of an off day again, maybe we can get Chris Evans going.
Yeah, I would say Jake hit on kind of my biggest red flag of the game is Joe Mixon's not playing well, but to be fair, the run game from the offensive line has been atrocious too. I'm not sure if that's completely on them. I think at some point, if the run game can't get back to the way it was, I think we do have to kind of point at scheme a little bit from Frank and Zach.
Well,
so
why are we running all the damn pitch plays? They haven't worked once, and we're just
I'm not a big
pitch play
pitch play guy either. I think that's a big red flag. But in pass pro, they kind of did what you needed to do. Again, they weren't playing like an elite guy, like Scott said. So you kind of expect that. I mean, to me, I was kind of surprised with Volson. Volson played really well, especially in true pass pro. I think he had like an 82 or something on PFF, which is awesome. But yeah, the offense. I think it's slowly going to get there. We really got to hope that Joe Mixon kind of rounds it toward the run game, kind of takes a step, because we do really need that at some point, because then all they're going to do is, I mean, too high is going to be something we'll get into a little bit later, especially when we're talking about the Dolphins. But yeah, that's a big red flag to me. I think there's still play calling things that we need to see, that we need to adjust. But again, it's going to be the same thing we've kind of said last year. I feel like this team is going to slowly get into it every year. I don't think this is a team that week one's going to fire. I think that's just kind of where we have to be. I mean, even when Joe has a normal offseason, I don't think this is going to be a team that you come out of the gates. And I don't think a lot of teams do that nowadays. I mean, maybe the Bills, who looked unstoppable week one, but then just dropped one to the Dolphins. I mean, I don't know.